Hello, welcome back, everybody, to another year of the Sunday Podcast.
I'm Ollie Lum.
And I'm Matt Seddon.
Back in 2025 for our 5th season. You can expect more of this.
He's claiming that he was ill before the semi-final, whatever. But, you know, I just feel like at that point he was just looking for attention.
And some of this.
And you normally say, no human is limited. So I can't limit myself, or I can't just say I can do.
As well as event coverage around all the major races on the UK circuit.
And if you're a fan of the pod, please give us a rating and review on your preferred podcast streaming service.
And if you want to stay up to date with all the latest news, give us a follow on Instagram at Sunday Podcast.
As always, thanks for listening. See you next time. And we hope you enjoyed the episode.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Brought to you by sportsnews.com. As always, the dust has finally settled on Podium Festival after Saturday. Lots of PBs, I'm sure for those of you listening as well as some of the elite athletes up the top end too. So, yeah, what a race, mate. And we'll get into the event. You obviously there commentating as always. So we'll get into that today, and then we'll get into some of the other races around the country and around the world as well, because we've got the World Indoors coming up. We had a couple of half marathons on the weekend too.
It was a busy weekend, wasn't it? You know, who thought this period was supposed to be quiet? It was, very busy, and some stunning results, to be honest, mate. I mean, just distance running as a whole was in a great place. The depth on display at Podium. I think, you know, people look at the times and think it was mega, but, you know, I'll say it time and time again, you just don't get that level of quality in the same race. Probably, I don't think we'll see that level of quality in the same race throughout the whole of 2025, you know, because you just have such a mix of athletes. I mean, take the women's race, for example. You got Katie Snowden, who is obviously going to be doing 1500 on the track. And then she's matching up against Izzy Fry, Verity Ockenden, who you think might even go longer, you know, back to the 10K and beyond. So, and the women's, by the way, the depth there was just really, really strong. And looking ahead to this weekend as well, Paul, for 10K, I just saw entries for that. On the women's side, I haven't seen a full list of entry on the men's, but yeah, I mean, it's stacked. You've got Beth Potter, Jess Judd, Mila Quirk, Verity Ockenden, Hannah Irwin, Haggart Kearney, who we saw on the weekend, Alex Bell's doing it, Ellie Wallet, Lauren Hayes, Taz Phillips, Meg Gatsby, another just stacked field, to be honest. So, but then again, you know, on the men's to see what we saw, I mean, we saw that under 20 national record go. Who could have thought that was going to go on the lads' side? Alex Riley just obliterating that former record of Muggleton, 13:54. So, mate, there's so much to talk about. I mean, where do we start? Do we start with those elite women's, elite men's race, or just break them down a touch?
Yeah, I mean, just on the depth on the men's side, obviously you had like 50 guys inside 14:15. Like, I think 50th place around 14:15 or 14:16. Like
32 sub 14, mate.
Absolutely ridiculous. And then, mate, let's start with Barnicoat, because time and time again, when he does match up with guys, he always comes out near the top of the pile. I know he wasn't first across the line, but first Brit across the line, 13:27 odd. Phenomenal performance. And what are we going to see from this guy on a track come the summer?
Yeah, well, obviously, I didn't really know what to expect from Barnicoat going into this race, because we haven't seen him. And, you know, the one race he did, he DNF'd in indoors. So, yeah, I don't know his story, whether he was injured throughout the last few months or ill, or just kind of not in shape, so didn't want to run indoors or what. But yeah, clearly, I mean, 30 over the 5, and it was more the way he was able to do it and come back, out sprinted Gebri Mariam, who, by the way, he was an animal. The way Gebri Mariam and Daniel Kamaya were running up at the front was it was a joke. Like, they're absolutely just going at it, constantly surging. And look, had the pair of them probably run that race a little smoother, I think they're able to kind of pull away together. But, you know, Gebri Mariam makes a bold move with the lap to go. I thought Kamaya discounted the laps the way he was running, to be honest, but that was just my take on it. And you know, he was so much better. He still managed to sort of recover and go. But Barnicoat, but I think there needs to be credit to Oshan Perrin as well. Whenever that kid races, flipping hell, like, he doesn't do much, but when he does, he is always just shit hot. And like, he's just going at it again with Barnicoat. I thought there was a period of that race where he might have beaten Barnicoat. But yeah,
I mean, the thing with Perrin, mate, the guy's got absolutely no fit. He can go up against absolutely anyone. Indoors, outdoors, road, whatever, and he's like, well, I'll go toe to toe with him and I'll get stuck in, and he tries to win every race he gets into. Doesn't just sit back and like go along for the ride. And yeah, huge props to him. Like, talking to people who miscount laps, mate, Barnicoat always looks like he's miscounted, but the other way, and it's why he's always got such a good kick. He's got so much left in the tank because he thinks he's got more laps to go. But yeah, signature Barnicoat. Yeah, excited for him in the summer, mate.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good run for Barnico. Like, don't get it twisted. I mean, he's going to have to go a lot faster in the summer, and he's going to have to break 13:10. I think that's a realistic goal for him to get down towards that mark, and he'll probably be expecting that of himself. So, a 13:30 in a race which produced a heap of fast times, like it's a good run for him, but. I think sometimes it's easy to actually forget his level and probably where he wants to go as well. To be honest, like obviously everyone else behind him is absolutely stoked with their runs. Just, I mean, yeah, I couldn't believe it, to be honest. I was quite speechless. But then you look at the depth and you're like, okay, fair enough. They're all in the same race. And the way the race panned out as well, like, Langert and Kamaya just take it up. They move it along early. It was just a stream of men, mate, to be honest. And just a great race. Conditions were absolutely perfect. Crowd atmosphere perfect. And look, it was an event that just fully came together. Barnes team as Sport Shoes have just done an absolute job. I think the brands, the atmosphere and everything about it was just electric, to be honest. And I can imagine it's going to be a big waiting list for next year now.
Yeah, and it's an event that's really going to build over the next few years and become a kind of staple on the calendar. Over to the women's race, and yeah, you obviously mentioned the main contenders already, but that battle between Katie Snowden and Izzy Fry, who kind of took on a lot of the race, like at the front, pushing it on, as you'd expect from one of the UK's best 5K runners. Katie Snowden, though, obviously came out on top in the end.
Yeah, Izzy Fry was good, to be fair. I mean, that was such a tough position to be in. I think as soon as the first K goes by or the first even half a lap, she's probably just thinking, yeah, here we go, like sort of rolling her eyes. Because honestly, the type of athletes in there, like I think for people like Ockenden, she was always had this, rumor has it she's really focused on this Pulford 10 this weekend. And I think she goes into this. She's not fussed about the time she walks away with at podium. She just wants to compete, race, sharpen the legs a little bit. So, someone like her, and then you've got obviously Katie Snowden, Georgie Gregg, like these people. I don't think they were ever going to sort of, once Fry found herself at the front, they were never going to go by, even if Fry completely put the brakes on, and it took someone like Emily Haggett-Kearney to sort of move things along. I've heard, I don't know, I was hearing on the weekend that Fry might be looking to sort of go more 10K and sort of step up in distance. And I think that would be a bit of a shame if she did. Like, there's a lot of running, to be honest, left to do over the 5K. But then when I
think it depends how she does it, right? Because if it's a hard switch and she just goes to solely focus on the 10K, but think about how many athletes throughout history have been 5K, 10K athletes, right? And potentially it's only gonna make her better. And she's still young in the sport, particularly as a distance runner, in terms of like attacking 5s and 10s. So I don't think it's a bad move, to be honest, as long as she still maintains like racing over the 5. Like as a British athlete, you got the luxury that you can run a 5 at British Champs and it's not even influencing your 10s. So like, and even just the amount of race you can do over the 10. So I don't think it's a bad move, because I don't think it would be like a hard switch. We're not going to then see her racing half marathons just because she's then a 10K athlete on the track.
Yeah, and I think everyone's just again starting to think about how they could try best qualify for LA and what that's going to look like. So, which I get. But yeah, Snowden coming away with the win, that was a big result for her. That was a PB. Her PB before that was 15:23. Ran that in Barcelona. Obviously, that year runs 3:56 for the 1500. So I think we can expect big things from Kate Snowden. Sounds like she's signed a new contract with Nike now as well, and I think she's going to be under the eye of John Big for the most part, and utilizing that setup. So slight change for her, but clearly working, and things are going very well even over the 5. So, but yeah, mate, I was mightily impressed. I think on the stats as well, 25% of the entries or the finishers were women, and usually at a podium event you're looking at more like 12-15% of women. So a good turnout from the elite women. I think 15 sub 16 minutes, 46 athletes sub 16:30. 76 sub 17. It's kind of scary when you read out those numbers. I think on the guys' side we had 163 sub 15 minutes as well, which obviously betters Armar's 150. They did obviously Armar do just one race though, and obviously podiums over multiple throughout a whole day, so they can have a lot more entries compete there. So the rivalry between those two meets, it continues.
It does, and there's no real way of saying which one's better, but yeah, we know which one we'd recommend anyway. That's all we say. But yeah, great weekend, and I think like we said before, it's only going to grow as well. But mate, it wasn't the only action at the weekend. We had half marathons over in New York, half marathon in Bath, which served as the World Road Running Champs trial as well. Jake Smith took the win on the men's side, which I think a lot of people will be just pleased to see that he's back and firing, and looks super pleased with that one after a rocky couple of years for him. So hopefully it's just a sign of more things to come. And then Abby Donnelly over on the women's side taking the win in 69 minutes there too.
Yeah, mate, both of those results pretty big because obviously that Bath course is
it's horrible, to put it like.
You actually done it? I'm only just going on what I've heard.
I've not done it, but I've done a few long runs in Bath. Anyone who's run around Bath, I don't know where they would run to make that course nice. Basically, let's put it that way. So.
Yeah, mate, those half marathon results, Smith with the win, like you said, 60-20 was big. Omar Ahmed, it was fast, which makes you think couldn't have been that bad of a course, but I know it's challenging. You know, I think someone like Jake Smith take a lot of confidence from that. And can he go break 62? That's the qualifying standard, that he's going to need to hit for the road running champs. Derek Griffiths, Dom Nolan ran all right, 64-49. And then just, quite a lot of men though. You think about the depth again. I mean, there's, I think, 8th place was 65. So, again, good to...
Like the New York course, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, mate, honestly, I think they had much better conditions. New York was honking. I looked at the elevation profile of New York. We can move to it. I mean, Donnelly did super well as well, by the way. And I think, again, she'll look at that and be like, what could I have done in New York? I mean, Amy Eloise Neal and Callie Thackeray were obviously out there running well. But, you know, the New York course was illegal because of the elevation, right? I think it's too much downhill, but flipping hell was there a lot of hills in there. Yes, there were downs, but there was a lot of hills as well. And the weather was honking. And by the way, up front, Conor Mantz running 59.0s. I was like, that is easily worth the American record for him. Like if he is running in Seville or Valencia or wherever, he's running things. Without a doubt, the conditions were disgusting. Paddy Deary ran well there.
Yeah, I think the thing with Mance is just an absolute beast on whatever course, and I think he's almost the kind of athlete that
freak at the moment. He's just heating it.
He just wants it, however hard it's going to be. Like he's a classic cross country runner, and just relishes that tough course. And to be fair, like going back to Jake Smith, Jake Smith's exactly like very similar type of athlete. Like really relishes a tough race and a tough course as well.
Yeah, he does. And I do feel like, how do you put this? Smith is someone who loves to be like, he feeds off being up at the front and running like a really strong rhythm. Like he is a front runner and he feeds off that. Like some of his best races are like when he's been pacemaking and stuff. And like we've seen some great pacemaking jobs from him recently as well. And I've always just been like, if he's doing 30k at this speed or if he's doing 20k at this speed, like, was he involved in, was it Valencia maybe pacing or there was a marathon not too long ago. I think it might have been Valencia where he was pacing. I've always thought, how's he having trouble converting this to actually just putting a time out there? I think sometimes in these races, it can be quite overwhelming and obviously the thought of like going distance as well, but he is definitely someone who thrives just controlling the race and being the one just pushing it on.
For sure, mate. I've got some elevation stats for you. Just anyone listening, don't quote me on these because I don't know how accurate these are, but total climb in New York is 57 meters. Bath half, 126.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bath is, I looked at their course profile and it seems to kind of all come at the end. So it's like downhill at the start and then really spikes up at the end. But yeah,
New York's rolling though, isn't it?
New York is rolling. Yeah. Mate, it's so rolling. I watched it. I was like, Jesus Christ. And even Paddy 60-19. Honestly, I think get Paddy on a better course. He's breaking 60. Comfortable. Yeah. He really is.
Serious running, right?
Yeah, he is flying. And I know he's doing Sound 10 as well in a few weeks. Like, I think a little bit further down the field, we got to mention Jack Rose 62-51. Kincaid wasn't his day. He ran like 63. But I think Robles obviously doing London. Probably wanted you'd want a little bit more from him than that 62.
Depends what his approach was, That's the thing. Like you obviously probably know more than me in that respect, but the approach to to halves in the marathon build up is very different for everyone. And I almost think like too much at a time, particularly Brits, right? We see people absolutely smash half marathons.
Yeah.
Not too far out of London. Yeah. And then they bomb. They run 62 minutes and then they run 2:10. So it really depends how Jack Rose approached that one. I don't know if you've spoken to him, but
no, I haven't. I know he's been training with that North Carolina group though, but I always think Rose at his best after a serious altitude stint. So I hope he is getting up to altitude over the next few. I mean, he hasn't got long now to get up to altitude, but hopefully he can get a stint in before London, because when that guy's got an altitude camp in him, he's insane. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Thackeray on the women's side, classy run from her, third, 67.49. And again, I think just proves you were able to run fast. I didn't realize as well, Callie Thackeray's. Oh, I'm reading the results, mate. Jesus. I was going to say, she is not 27, but that was her place. That was her overall place. It's number 27 by her name. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, New York was good, and Bath delivered as well. And I think, obviously, Podium, we've got that Pulford 10, so I'm going to be intrigued to see the results out of that. The course looks very, very good at the Pulford 10 as well. Those country lanes around that loop. Yeah. I think it's going to be some stunning results, but I guess we better think about and start discussing the world indoors, big man.
Yeah, for sure, mate. And as much as we love a bit of domestic racing, we can't say no to a major championship. And we're spoiled, mate, in terms of the indoors, aren't we? We've only just had the Europeans. We've got the Worlds coming up now. We were chatting yesterday about this, weren't we? Just about how we think Worlds is going to go down, because in some ways it's kind of a weird format, or feels like a weird format, just with not that many athletes there. It doesn't really feel like a world champs, but actually in terms of viewing, we're going to get short windows of athletics. You're not going to have to kind of sit there for a long time. You're going to get super fast finals because the entry criteria is so stringent. And so we should just get a super, super high quality meet.
Yeah, I think so. Like you say, 3,000 is a straight final. And yeah, me and you were kind of, we spoke to Carl Mober, didn't we, about Grand Slam? That'll be coming out soon. But we kind of looked at the world indoors and we're like, the way it's formatted is almost like a bit of a Grand Slam. Yeah, we're going to see athletes, obviously a couple heats in the 1,500, but 3K is a straight final. Jakob's going to be doubling back. The time zone, by the way, folks, for watching it, I think the evening sessions won't be a problem. It'd be like 10 in the morning till midday or something like that. But the morning sessions, they're just going to be right off there at like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. Like the 800 heats. I'm not sure about the 1,500 heats. I think they're in the they're in the evening session, so we're good there. But yeah, man, let's talk through some of the entries, because it was quite embarrassing. Yeah, like you mentioned, some of the a lot of people. Men's 800 is got 29 athletes in. That's pretty meaty. 1,500, 30 athletes. 3K, just 16 on the men's side. Mills, fastest man in the field. Obviously, Jakob's only got his 7:40, 7:48 or something from Euros. So, but yeah, Mills, you got Mahari, the Ethiopian in the 3K, Kai Robinson, Dylan Jacobs, Koskeren, his next fastest. Wale.
Mills is out, right, though?
Huh?
Mills isn't competing, is he?
Shit, yeah, he put up on, oh my God, yeah. Mate, I only just saw that the other day, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Mate.
Yeah, so.
I can't even be asked to watch it.
I know, mate. Where's James West call up after that?
Honestly, he's going to be the easiest man. I mean, Jakob's still got to beat someone like Mahari and getting at Wale and stuff, but Laros beat
Aragal, he's the...
Don't think he's got the wheelhouse, mate. He, in theory, he is the one, but he just has not got the wheelhouse. I mean, look at what Jakob did at Euros, running that 3:35 last 1,500. Like, these boys just can't touch that. They actually can't. They're great runners. They're superb runners, but what kind of made me not rate them as much? Laros put them away in that. Is it Levan?
Yeah. When we expected them all to run super quick, and Laros.
And it did. Mahari ran alright, 7:29, but the others struggled a little bit. Like Wale struggled. He was, I'd say, struggled 7:31, but I mean, Jesus. Koskren's run 7:30 these days. Do you know what I mean? So you got to start putting these times into perspective. Dylan Jacobs, Kai Robinson. I mean, these are guys who they're good runners, but you don't expect them to contend. So it really will. And in the 1,500 again, I mean, it's Jakob against Nada and Gawley, who he put away. I do think Gawley's got a very, very strong chance of a medal in that 1,500 at Worlds.
I think so, and it'll be hungry after Euros. He's team captain as well for the Worlds, and hopefully he can kind of come back. And I think similar to Georgia Bell, like, I think they can both come back and have better runs than they did at the Euros, almost.
Yeah, she's in the same boat, I think. It's realistic for them to get a medal, although that women's 1500 is stacked. So yeah, men's 15. I'll just brief a few people on the entries. Ingebrigtsen, Nadir, Gawley's in there. Koskren's fourth fastest. Asai, Anas Asai, the Moroccan kid who used to be in the NCAAs. Adam Fogg, got all the Belgians. Ollie Hoar's in there. Philstrom. So to be honest, the men's 1500. I mean, Jesus, Adam Fogg's got an outside shot at a medal. To be honest, he has. He gets his tactics right. We'll see. Big boots to fill because pressure was on him getting selected for this champs. I mean, I don't have anything wrong with it. I think with the 1500, he kind of deserved to go. Obviously, we've already said our piece about Westy as well. But just after all, I guess he's been to what, three champs now or something. And so it's kind of like, can he go to this one and perform? You're saying, right? I think
that's it. It's not us. We don't have an issue with Fogg going, but it's I just find it interesting to like not select someone like West when you're selecting someone like Fogg. But we think they should both be going, should all be going. That's our angle. But it's strange to me. It's strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in the men's 800 is basically Europeans plus Josh Huey and Brandon Miller of America. To be honest with you, I've got Kibit in there, the Kenyan and stuff. But that's kind of a quick summary on the world indoors. I'm definitely intrigued to watch these races. But yeah, I mean, the women's 800 is you'd have thought Daguma runs away with this one as well. Maloney's in there, Nia Aikens, Secadizo. Two Swiss athletes. Verlo, obviously, she fell at Euro indoors, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, obviously, crucially, no Brits in the women's 800 meters at the world indoors.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy because not long ago we were saying this is like we have so much depth.
We do, but it's just obviously athletes aren't wanting to do indoor seasons.
Yeah,
we got Phoebe Gill, Gemma.
We do and we don't, mate. We do and we don't. That's the because if you've got so much depth, even like our 4th, 5th athletes would be like going to this. Do you know what I mean? That's my point.
It's interesting as well. A lot of countries are taking. I mean, Christ, there's some 203, 202 runners going to sort of world indoors, which is way off the mark. Anyway, 1500.
I mean, we did the 437 in the 1500. So
what?
The silver.
People's world rankings as well. The lady there who's 100 and Jesus, they had to go. They've gone deep in the world rankings, mate. Just to fill some of these fields. Look at this. Some people are ranked 120th, 150th, 176. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But yeah,
anyway,
it's the 3K probably again. I think that's always the case on the indoors, right? The 3K is always the strongest event.
Mix, mate. Yeah.
It is like you say, a bit similar to Podium, mate. You're talking about athletes meeting from all sorts of distances. It's the one where if you don't do it indoors, you've only really got a shot at a handful of diamond leagues, and like no one really cares. So the indoor 3K is really the one, and over on the women's side, like similar to the men, like there's only 14 athletes in this. For me, Shelby Houlihan, that's who I want to see run. I'm not sure which way I want to see
her run.
Well, I want to see what happens.
Mate, me too.
Yeah, I'm not saying she should be running. I'm saying I want to see what happens, right? I want to see if she does well. I want to see what the reaction to it is, and if she doesn't, I'm just interested to see that as well. So look, it's another talking point, right? It's just like when we had Bolt v Gatlin, mate. It was good viewing.
Two legends. Although, yeah, it's just weird. Obviously, Gatlin does he's actually got a pretty good podcast now, to be fair, which I do listen to. But it's like Lance Armstrong. Like I love listening to Lance Armstrong. I have to remind myself, no, actually, the guy was an absolute arsehole. And can you forgive him for what he did? But anyway, we don't know enough about cycling. But yeah, the women's 1500 is going to be very, very interesting. Walter J, I mean, those two are, flying. McLean, Georgia Hunter Bell is actually going into this 4th fastest on season's best. So see what she can do. But yeah, Houlihan is like 6th, 7th fastest on season's best. But I think America have a very, very strong team, and yeah, it's just gonna. But Gilmo, I mean, after her Euros, you're looking, she does probably come into this as like outside. I wouldn't say gold.
Yeah, you
Let's
think
see.
so, and the confidence she's going to have as well. Like, I think, and I think there's still no pressure on her either. It's like she's going to have the confidence, but there's still going to be no pressure. And I was expecting her to go there and win or even medal. Like, so it's good. For me, I think Georgia Bell's got a massive shot to for sure medal, but like I wouldn't be surprised if she wins the whole thing anyway.
Nah, I'm going to call it now. I don't think Georgia Bell wins.
I just said I wouldn't be surprised, mate. I didn't say she's going to win. I said I wouldn't be surprised.
No, yeah, fair enough. I actually would be surprised. I think I actually would be surprised if she wins. I mean, in 2 or 3 weeks to bounce back and like beat someone like Segay and Walter, you know, athletes who are running low T's, mid 350s indoors, I'd be surprised. She's capable, but her form doesn't suggest that.
Reveille obviously also in there from a British perspective as well, so good to see that she was selected and is obviously going to go and back up that medal winning performance from the Euros.
Yeah, you know, for both Bell and Reveille, actually, it's going to be. Should we see what the qualification is? Actually, is it out yet? I bet it's not even out. Is it a qualification? Nah, it's not out. But it's going to be tough to make the final. Obviously, indoors, there's only 9 people that make the final in the 1500. Or is it 9 or 12? I'm pretty sure it's 9. It's going to be bloody difficult. I mean, Reveille is ranked down in. I mean, rankings don't mean anything, of course. But what is she?
Tell us anyway, though.
I think she's 12th.
19th.
14th, mate. 14th on season's best. Sorry, her world ranking.
The world ranking is 19th, though.
But I'm just going on season's best. You know, and you got Afonso, the Portuguese woman. Sylvie's in there as well. Alicia Stafford, Mia Ramsden, Shelby. Yeah. That'd be a tough ask. And that's not included. I mean, Gilmo is actually below Reveille, obviously on season's best. Smash Euros. So there you go. And then, what else, mate? I mean, is it worth touching on? I was just looking at the Euro under 23 standards. And hey, look, if you're an under 23 listening or your coach who coaches an under 23 athlete, and let's just say they're a 5,000 meter runner, go get them to do the 10K because that is arguably one of the easiest GB vests on the market right now, right? You're under 23s, right? 5K standard for the men is 1336, for the women 1350. Tough. Like they are tall orders. 10K, 2920 for the men. Very doable. You know, for an under 23 man. And then you've got women 3355. Again, that's just very doable. I mean, literally look at all of those women at you know, Podium Festival and knocking on the door at 16 minutes, breaking 16 minutes. They could easily go put a couple of 1650.
Are they allowing road races for that as well? Is that same as the seniors?
No, so obviously, to be fair, man, I haven't read it in detail, but it does need to be done on the track. It's 10,000 meters as opposed to 10K.
Yeah, okay. That does make a difference just because of the opportunities, particularly for 23.
You've got to get yourself in that Birmingham meet, right? Where the sort of 10,000 meter championships are going to happen. You just got to get yourself in there. But my point was for under 23s, that is quite a generous mark. You know, if you're an athlete who is, you know, because you think, and then you look at the 1500, it's 338 to go to Euro under 23s, 146.5, and the women 412 and 2030. So, just comparatively looking at those marks. But mate, that's about it. I mean, world indoors. I mean, we've got the 800 heats on the what will be Friday morning for us. Friday we'll wake up and they would have done and dusted, and then what is our Friday morning, sort of 10 till midday. We've got the 1500 heats to look forward to. And then the finals obviously the following day, and those 3,000 meter finals. Oh, the 3,000 meter finals actually interestingly are in between the 1500s. So yeah, 1500. So it goes 1500 heats, 3K final, 1500 final, and then the 800s are on the second day as well.
So loads of action to look forward to. Just to give you a heads up, we will be doing this Sunday's pod on Sunday after the conclusion of the World Indoors. So we'll get that out to you as soon as possible. But it might not be there quite for your Sunday long run, depending on how early you get out. I know some of you get out in the afternoon, so you'll be all right. But for those of you who get out in the morning, like most people, then it won't be there for you. But we'll get our main episode out as soon as that World Indoors wraps up. And then next week, like Matt mentioned earlier, We spoke to Carl Merber from Grand Slam track, obviously be working closely with Michael Johnson on that. So that'll be coming up next weekend. So look forward to that, because that will be a week out from Grand Slam starting in Kingston. And Carl talks through loads about kind of setting the meet up and what we can expect. So exciting times for track and field. And so enjoy the World Indoors, and we'll catch you guys very soon.